At exactly 2:15 in the morning, my phone lit up beside my bed. I was still awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why my wife hadn't answered any of my calls for the last 4 hours. The house was silent except for the ticking clock in our kitchen. Then her message appeared. "I'm at a club with my friends. If you don't like it, break up with me." Attached to the text was a blurry selfie. Loud music, colored lights, a drink in her hand, and a man standing suspiciously close beside her. I stared at the screen for nearly a minute. 5 years of marriage. 5 years of paying bills together, building a home together, making sacrifices together. Reduced to one text message. "If you don't like it, break up with me." She expected me to argue. She expected me to beg. She expected me to stay awake until morning waiting for her to come home. Instead, I smiled. Because at that exact moment, I realized something she didn't. She needed me far more than I needed her. And by the time she walked through our front door, everything in her life was about to change. My name is Daniel, and until that night, I believed my marriage was going through a rough patch. My wife, Vanessa, had changed during the previous year. She became distant, cold, and constantly irritated. She spent more time with her coworkers than with me. Every conversation became an argument. If dinner was late, it was my fault. If the house was messy, it was my fault. If she had a stressful day at work, somehow it became my fault too. Meanwhile, I worked nearly 60 hours a week managing a logistics company. I paid almost every bill. The mortgage, utilities, insurance, car payments. Most of it came from my income. Vanessa worked as a marketing coordinator, but she often complained that she deserved a better life. "You never take me anywhere," she would say. "We can't afford expensive vacations every month," I would answer. "You always have excuses." The truth was simple. I was trying to build our future. She wanted to live like we were already rich. That Friday evening, she told me she was having dinner with some coworkers after work. "Don't wait up," she said while putting on makeup. She wore a dress I had never seen before. I remember joking, "You look like you're going to a nightclub." She rolled her eyes. "It's just dinner, Daniel." At 10 o'clock, I sent her a text. No response. At 11:30, I called. No answer. At 1 o'clock, I called again. Straight to voicemail. And then, at 2:15 a.m., I received the message that changed everything. "If you don't like it, break up with me." I read it 3 times. My hand stopped shaking. My anger disappeared. For the first time in months, my mind became completely clear. I walked into my office and opened my laptop. You see, there was something Vanessa never paid attention to. Our finances, our mortgage, our bank accounts, our cars. The truth was that nearly everything was under my name because my income qualified for the loans. I wasn't trying to control her. That's simply how we had organized things years earlier. At 2:30 a.m., I transferred my savings into a separate account. At 2:45 a.m., I removed my direct deposits from our joint account. At 3 a.m., I emailed my attorney, who happened to be an old college friend. At 3:20 a.m., I booked a hotel room. And at 3:45 a.m., I printed every financial document in our house. Then I replied to her text. Only 4 words. "Okay, I understand." No argument. No questions. No begging. Nothing. She didn't respond. Around 5:10 a.m., I heard her car pull into the driveway. She walked inside laughing while speaking on her phone. When she saw me sitting quietly at the dining table, she immediately stopped smiling. "You've been awake?" I nodded. She tossed her purse onto the counter. "You're seriously mad because I went out?" I slid the printed text message across the table. "You told me to break up with you if I didn't like it." She crossed her arms. "I was angry. You seemed pretty clear." She laughed. "Oh my God, Daniel. It was one text." "No," I said quietly. "It was the truth." Her expression changed. "What does that mean?" I handed her an envelope. Inside was a copy of the hotel reservation. "I'm leaving for a while." "What?" "You asked me to leave if I didn't like it." Her confidence disappeared. "You're overreacting." "I don't think I am." She suddenly became emotional. "You're seriously ending our marriage over one night?" I looked directly at her. "No, I'm ending it because of the last year." She had no answer. Over the following week, something interesting happened. Vanessa expected me to return. She expected flowers. She expected apologies. Instead, I met with my attorney. I gathered documents. I reviewed bank statements. And I realized that while I had been working overtime to support our future, she had been spending thousands of dollars on shopping, expensive dinners, and nights out. Then another surprise arrived. One of her co-workers contacted me privately. Apparently, Vanessa had been telling people at work that she planned to leave me soon because I was boring and too predictable. She believed she deserved someone wealthier, someone more exciting. The man from the nightclub wasn't simply a friend. He was a sales manager from another company. And according to several people, their relationship had already become very close. Suddenly, everything made sense. The late nights, the arguments, the coldness. She wasn't unhappy. She was already emotionally gone. 2 months later, the divorce process officially began. And reality finally hit her. The apartment she wanted wasn't affordable. The expensive lifestyle disappeared. The man from the nightclub quickly lost interest when he realized she was actually getting divorced. Meanwhile, I received a promotion at work. I moved into a new apartment. I started exercising again. I reconnected with old friends. For the first time in years, I felt peaceful. Then one afternoon, nearly 6 months later, my phone rang. It was Vanessa. "I made a mistake," she said. I remained silent. "I thought you would fight for me." "I did fight for you," I answered. "For years." She started crying. "I didn't think you'd actually leave." And there it was. The truth. She never expected consequences. She thought her words carried no weight. She believed I would always stay. But sometimes the strongest response isn't anger. It's agreement. She told me to leave if I didn't like it. So I did. And in the end, the person she expected to beg for her love became the one who walked away without looking back. That 2:15 a.m. text message was supposed to hurt me. Instead, it set me free. And if I've learned anything from that night, it's this. Never threaten someone with losing you unless you're prepared for them to let go. Because sometimes the quietest response becomes the loudest lesson of all.